Hey y'all, welcome back. I am Jaysa and this is Just Jaysa. If you are watching this, please make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications so you can stay up to date on all the videos I will be posting for the upcoming months, right? So today's video will be called Anxiety and Depression. Obviously, it's a much deeper topic than what we think, but we're going to touch on that. All right, so let's get into it. All right, y'all. So this topic, I have a hard time pinpointing what I want to say. So work with me. In the last video, we talked about self-confidence, and I did touch on a little bit my postpartum experience. And the crazy part is with that, I've experienced anxiety and a little bit of depression prior to my pregnancy, which most of us have. We just don't realize it. And in the minority community, we don't talk about that at all. That is a no-no. Leave it where it is. We're just going to pretend like it's not there. And like I mentioned, for me to be diagnosed with it at all was a huge wake-up call for me. I didn't want it. I did not want it. I did not want that state of mental health. I struggled acknowledging that. And even in the moments where I probably should have taken my medication, I chose not to. Because in my mind, I needed to remain resilient, y'all. I was not going to let it take me down. And the fact that that was my mental state, don't let it take you down. What the hell? If you need help, you need help, girl. And if somebody saw it, yes, it is hard to acknowledge, but take it. Take that olive branch. Take it. Go, run, get help. Take a minute. But I didn't. And I have a very hard time of just going to the doctor and going to therapy and going to deal with my issues. So I know there's a lot of built up, right? Where am I going with this? You are not alone. Let's start there. Yes, I'm going to say the cliche that everyone says, but it is true. You're not. I'm not. We're not. We're not alone. It is very difficult. So the fact that you can even acknowledge it within yourself for the first moment, good stuff. Good stuff. So I'm going to take my win and say I've acknowledged it. How am I going to deal with it? Let's see. So I was scrolling the other day, and I'll make sure I put her TikTok page, but I came across this lady's TikTok page where she was doing coping skills for getting over a man, or to not call a man. I'll have to find it for sure. I don't want to misquote her, but it was a bunch of different hobbies she was trying in order to cope on her own, deal with herself, and not look for external sources. I thought that was absolutely amazing. So I figured, let me take on that challenge. So I will be mimicking that and trying my best to incorporate different coping mechanisms in order to deal with my anxiety and depression. Dealing with it, I think, is the scariest part, because you don't know what you're supposed to do. Okay, great. You're telling me all I have to do is acknowledge it and move on. Okay, is it going to go away when I acknowledge it? No, that's not what happens. And I think the idea of having to talk to someone and tell them what I'm experiencing is also very scary. So my independent traits come out very strong, and I find myself wanting to do it on my own. So that's what I do. I found that I think my coping mechanisms are going to help. And obviously, I have spoken with my doctor, because they know a little bit more than me. They may not know everything, but they know a little bit more than me. And I ran this idea by her, and that was, the first thing that she said would really work, is trying to find those coping mechanisms. So I am going to share that with you in the coming weeks. Just let me kind of get an idea of where I stand on that, and I want to make sure I document that journey with you guys. But moving on, anxiety and depression. When I was growing up, it was very difficult for me to know who I am. I lived in California, Southern California, and we did not discuss being ourselves. And when I say that, I mean being Black. I did not know I was this beautiful Black woman until I moved to Georgia, where Black people is prominent. Okay, we are everywhere. But living in Southern California, it was more of a Hispanic community. And obviously, it's not the same love when they don't know how to love on you, or they're not interested in loving on you. They love on themselves, and that's beautiful. We have a hard time doing that as a community. So, moving to Georgia, I learned that I was Black. Oh my gosh, look at your skin, look at your hair. You don't realize you're different. For most of my high school years, I forced myself to have straight hair. Y'all, I looked a mess. And I looked forced, y'all. I looked like I was trying to fit into this mold that was not made for me. So I kept messing up. And that created this sense of insecurity. I did not feel attractive. I did not feel wanted. I felt like, girl, you are waking up every morning trying your best to be someone you're not. Self-confidence was downhill. But as I kept going, I created this sense of depression that displayed itself through constantly trying to look the part. I remember in college, every day I wore heels, every single day. And it's funny because I didn't always know how to walk in them. I learned while at college. I remember I wanted to go out for this modeling organization, and you had to wear at least a six inch heel. I can't walk in a 2-inch heel. You telling me I have to walk in a 6-inch heel? Oh my goodness. So I learned. I remember walking to the audition with my friends. They were like, you got this, you're doing good, keep your head up, you got this, you got this. Walking, getting there, right? I'm moving. As soon as I get there, y'all, why am I the first one to go? I got the #1 little tryout sticker. I'm standing there, I'm like, okay, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do to make myself stand out and not show how my confidence isn't where it needs to be in this modeling thing? Y'all, I had on this little off the shoulder shirt, right? So boom, I'm like, I got it. I put my little shoulder sleeves up. I walked up there. I was in the back. I'm like, okay. They played it. They said, all right, let's do it. I walked, walk. Got to the end, shoulders down, y'all. I looked, shoulders, and I walked off, y'all. I was so proud of myself. But it was in that moment, I was confident because I wanted to be. Not for any standard, not because I was trying to fit in some mold, but that was me. My personality was all into that. And I did make it, I was able to do that. But I realized I was still covering up. I was still covering myself. I was still trying to be something I wasn't. Although that one moment was all me, my personality won the games, I was still losing the battle. I was still out here trying to straighten, cover, conceal. I was still trying to do all these things in order to be what drew people's eye when I was walking on campus. And that led me into wearing heels every day. I think it was my reminder of that moment of confidence. It was my reminder that I had did that. I learned that skill to be someone. And although it made me feel very good, it made me feel beautiful, I didn't like it. Y'all know how heels go. My shit was on fire. My feet was fucked. I was exhausted. Ankles are not right to this day. It's very difficult to walk up a hill and to your class without panting in heels. Do you know that is a skill? And I was not taking them off. What do I look like going to one class, coming back, and I'm in flats? No. We thugged it out the entire way. But that was the ludicrousy. Why am I hurting myself to maintain this image? Girl, honey, y'all, I was stressed and eventually started to feel like crap about myself if I didn't. Like, why are you giving up? Why are you just letting yourself go? Where are your shoes? Where is your outfit? Why are you not this? Why are you not that? Your hair isn't done. If I had a hairstyle longer than 2 weeks, y'all, I felt like I was just down bad. But that was me. That was the mentality that I had created because for so long I didn't know who I was. I was felt like, ooh, good example, right? Adam and Eve. If you believe in the Bible or not, it's still a good story nevertheless. So before Eve ate the apple, they did not know they were naked. They did not know what appearance was, right? Once she did, they realized, oh my gosh, we are not wearing clothes. That's a problem. That's how I felt until I moved to Georgia and realized who I was as a Black woman. I wasn't worried about it. That may be good or bad. It may have made my mom very happy to notice that I was putting more effort into my appearance, but I didn't. I was oblivious and it was okay for me. But as I went on, it now has become a hindrance where if I am trying to get dressed in the morning, I am struggling. I get panic attacks. I am anxious. I'm stressed out if it doesn't go a certain way. If my hair isn't right, I will literally cry because it is very important to me and I don't want to leave looking any kind of way. So I have built this sense of anxiety and depression over my appearance, y'all, over things that it's natural. You know, who I am is natural. I was not lying. I will wrap my hair up quick, but I love my wraps. I love the way it makes me look. It accentuates who I am, not what I'm trying to add to myself. I'm sorry. And with that, life kept going on. I kept looking for people to fill that void, looking for someone to remind me of my beauty, even when I wasn't putting on some front. That added to my anxiety and depression because if they left me or if they changed their perspective on me, now what? Now I feel less than. So it continued. Now here I am, pregnant, feeling less than again. Oh my gosh, I'm getting big. My face is fat. Why every time I walk up to someone they're pointing out how fat my nose is? How dare you? I'm struggling enough emotionally. I don't need you to point out the things that I can't control. Here I am, not pregnant. Oh my gosh, I am anorexic. I can't eat. I'm starving though. I am starting to get a little pudge because I've eaten too much. Oh my gosh, I need to stop eating. I need to lose weight. Constantly going through my head, rattling, 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 trying to keep up. Here I am, identifying it, addressing it, working on it, and I'm still lost. But where am I going with this? I've acknowledged it. And although I'm not open to talking, I'm not open to having someone tell me what to do, I am open to being self-aware and applying things that I think will help me. Like I said, the hobbies that I found, it's crazy how we come across different things in our lives and don't realize how useful they'll be until we realize how useful they'll be. And for me, I think those hobbies will help. Like I said, I already paint. I love to paint. It was really fun for me. I have not written anything since I wrote my last book. And that used to be my outlet. That is why I started writing to begin with. So to think that now I'm not doing it at all because of some standard to be amazing, some standard to stand out and just it took my passion. I don't want to write because I'm like, I'm not going to be as good. Or who's going to buy it? Who's going to want to read my stuff? Who's going to look at me and agree with anything I have to say? I'm putting doubt in my work before I've even written it down. And ultimately, it has created this sense of depression about who I am and essentially anxiety about even trying. And that's so backwards because I have so much I can say and I have it for a reason. So with that being said, the self-confidence video, very important. If you have not seen it, please go back and watch it because they tie into our anxiety and depression video. They feed off of each other because without us acknowledging who we are, where we are, why we're doing the things we're doing, we're not going to be able to move forward because we're going to find ourselves changing, but constantly going backwards. It's that trigger, right? If we're constantly trying to change something, but we don't know what's causing it, we're always going to find ourselves right back where we were. So I feel like with me sharing this with you guys, that is my way of letting you know this is your time to evaluate your life. You don't need to change anything yet. You can't acknowledge, you can't identify where it's coming from and not want to fix it, right? Make sure you are happy with you. If you're happy with yourself where you are, I can't say nothing. I wasn't. I'm not. So you need to find out where that leak is coming from. Where is that sense of doubt streaming in? Start there. Evaluate it. Write it down. Put it on a piece of paper. If you have it for an entire week, look at it. Write your things down like, okay, here it is. I see something. Let me go ahead and jot that down just in case later I want to deal with it. You know where to start. And that was always very hard for me. Where am I supposed to start? What am I supposed to do? Why would I go to talk to someone? I don't even know what to say. Here's your start. Figure out what the hell is causing you to be in this position. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why do you feel the way you feel? Not, oh, well, Jake took my parking spot, so I'm upset today. Go back. Why do you respond that way, right? Why are you reacting to small situations the way you do? Why do you get up at 3 o'clock in the morning to make sure your hair is done? Why do you pressure yourself to save all this money to make sure you have the top tier clothing line? Why? Figure that out and let's do this. Like I said, I am still on my journey. I'm still trying to figure this out, and it's not going to be within a month. It's not going to be within a year. It is a long, drawn out process because I am stripping away all of the things that I have incorporated into my life and put on myself for years and trying to recreate or bring back my original design. It's not going to be easy. I am 25 years old. I have 25 years of foolishness. So we're going to fix it. And with that being said, I am always very happy to do this with you guys. Like I said, it feels good to be back. It really does. But if you have not already, make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications so you can be back next week for our final video of the month, what it means to be a woman. May or may not have a special guest. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I wanted to wait until October to add people in, but I feel like certain topics may need some extra oomph. If it's just me, don't be disappointed. Don't do that. But like I said, I will be here next week. I hope you turned on your notifications. I am Jaysa. This is Just Jaysa, and I appreciate you. Bye.